We're back. All right. So I'm back. Pretty much I put on my Instagram like ideas for what to make videos on. Because again, like from the last video, I said I like struggle with that shit. And a lot of people brought up tags, which I found interesting. And yeah, like to me, it's hard for somebody like me. Like you hear tags and you're just like, oh, it's not that hard, like, but like it makes sense because like it like took me back to like when I first started and like shit's fucking confusing. Like it's not until you've seen like 1,000 t-shirts on a similar tag and like half of them have years on it that you start to like really like learn. So off top, this is like a very like beginner's tag. Like I don't want to say it's like an informational video, like, cause I'm not like going in depth like on the companies or like showing you like the tag through the decades. I'm just showing you like I have like a bunch of crazy shirts. I'm pretty sure you can see the Fuji's that's sitting here. Like I'm starting off with 2 bootlegs just cause they're the most like predominantly like reprinted shirts right now. But like back to what I was saying. I'm doing like a very like beginner's video. So I have 25 shirts with 25 different tags, all on really cool shirts though. So like it'll be fun to watch just to see the shirts I pull out. Most of you that have been doing this for like even 6 months, I'd say have probably seen all of these tags. Or like even if you've just been a collector, even if you don't go thrifting or like wherever, like you've seen all these tags. But for any of you that don't really know and like you're trying to learn, you're trying to get it and it's confusing, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna show you a shirt. It's gonna be a sick ass shirt, and then I'm gonna show you the tag it's on. I'm gonna tell you like the era it's from, like 90s, late 90s, mid 90s, early 90s, late 80s, like wherever it fits. And that's all I can really tell you. I can try, like I'm gonna try as like go along to like go into like detail about whatever I can. Sorry. I feel like every time I start talking, like I like get all like burpy or something. But yeah, like, so I'm just gonna show the tag. I'm gonna tell you the era it's from, and we'll see where it goes from there. Like, I don't really script any of this. I just kind of just sit here and talk and see what happens, and my voice cracks, obviously. But yeah, so again, beginner video. You've probably seen most of these tags. This is meant for people that haven't seen a lot of tags or they don't really know, like they're trying to learn. So this is for all you guys. This is like, I'm trying to like kind of morph this into like a series thing, kind of. So I'm starting off with 25 tags right now, and it's all basic tags. Like pretty much your building blocks to vintage tags, I'll say. And it'll be tags that you see a lot. And then like in the next video, I'll do like another 20 tags or 25 or however many. And it'll be like more like scarce tags or like rare tags or more like specialty like type tags. And then I can like try to do like Hanes tags from the 70s to the early 2000s. Like that's why I like this idea, is like I can kind of take it into a million different directions. But I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just gonna start showing shit, start showing tags, go from there. If you think I'm wrong, I don't think I'm gonna be wrong on any of them, but if you wanna like try to say I'm wrong, or if I am wrong, if I fuck up somehow, yeah, like just say it. Cause I mean, everyone's trying to learn, and I'm not trying to like tell anyone some wrong shit, but you better be right. If you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, you better be right. I'll just say that. But first up, we have 2 bootlegs. So like bootleg rap tees, the other one's a Bulls tee. I'm sure you see it on the pile now. Yeah, so the reason I'm even bringing out bootleg tags, because they're not like necessarily like the odds of you finding a bootleg like is a lot smaller, especially like rap tees. So here, I'm just gonna hold it up while I talk. The odds of finding them are pretty slim, but it's also like one of the most bought styles of tees right now. So therefore, like you're gonna need to know the tag just in case you're buying one. I mean, there's a lot of reprints going around, and there's even reprints on like Bay Club tags, which is what I'm about to show you, Tops tags even, which is the next one I'm showing you. But these 2 are like the most predominant like bootleg like rap tee tags, I would say. So yeah, we have Bay Club. Where is this one? Made in Panama. It'll be like Panama, Dominican Republic, like anywhere in there for all these bootlegs. But there you go. I'm just really hoping that it focuses for you guys. So, cause I don't see like what I'm recording. So I don't know, but I'm just gonna hold it for a second. You can like pause it and you can look at it, look at all the details. I'll read it off to you. It says Bay Club 2XL, 100% cotton, has the RN number. You don't really need to worry about that. Made in Panama, and then reverse for care. And then on the back side, it says like tumble dry, all that bullshit. You don't need to know all that. So that is a legit Bay Club mid-90s bootleg tag. You see, it's on a single stitch tee. Got a Fuji's bootleg. Great fucking tee, by the way. Found this dead stock, North Carolina. You can watch my first ever video for that story. But yeah, you're gonna see. Well, shit, I don't have anywhere to put my shirts when I'm done. I guess they're going on the floor. But yeah, so I guess I could have showed it again. I don't know. Rewind it if you want to see it again. But yeah, predominantly on rap tees, you're gonna see a lot of Bay Club tags. So whenever you're thrifting, whenever you're doing your shit, look out for Bay Club tags. Peeking out the bin when all you see is a tag, look for the Bay Club shit. Next up, we got another bootleg. Bulls. So technically it's not a rap tee, but it's a rap tee style. That's what people like to say. I just say bootleg because it's a bootleg style. But yeah, you got Jordan, Pippen, Rodman doing their thing. This one is double. Oh wait, no, this one's single stitch. My other Bulls bootleg is double stitch. But yeah, you got single stitch. And here's the tag. You got a top XL made in Panama also. Here, let me see if I can get it down for you guys. How are my fingernails looking? Oh, they're straight. Cool. But yeah, so tops or top. There is a tops bootleg tag. So I don't know if top and tops are different, but or maybe tops is top and I'm just tripping. But there's another like variant of this tag, or there's one that says tops and it looks different. That's also predominantly on bootlegs and stuff. But this is, I mean, top, obviously you got a bootleg tee right here. So that's another bootleg rap tee tag to look out for. 90s, it's gonna be mid 90s also. I could get into like the details of rap tees on how to tell if they're like early 90s, mid 90s, or late 90s by the colors. But I mean, that'll be for a different time. It won't be for right now. So next up, man, I haven't worn this shirt in so long. It's fucking torched. I need to like soak the fuck out of it. Next up, you have a Nirvana, a great Nirvana. I don't even know where I'm cut off. I think my head's like cut off like right here or something. But you got a Nirvana in utero bootleg. This is not a Bon Jovi concert. Probably one of the best Nirvana tees ever made. I will say that. Great back, great front. Double stitch. So again, I don't know. There's better tags to go this on. But here's a tag, Delta white tag. So that's another mid-90s Delta tag. I have another Delta tag in here that's more of a later 90s into early 2000s version. So this is the mid-90s. It's more of a white, it is a white color. You'll see the other one, I think it's actually the last shirt in there. So it's more of like a satin tag and it's like a silverish, but double stitched. So this goes to the whole game of a shirt doesn't need to be single stitched to be old. There's a lot of other variants that come into play. So let's just use this shirt as an example. You have double stitch. So like some people might see that and be like, that's just not old, it's a reprint, it's this, it's that. It's not 90s. 90s is single stitch, which is fucking annoying to hear. But look at this print. For one, like, I don't know, for anyone like me that's been doing this a while, like you see a print like that and you just know. Like the colors, how big it is, how bold it is, just the screen print work in general, how it's laid out on the shirt, just the size of it. And then, I mean, you see that tag. You see that white Delta tag, 2X, like that tag's not gonna lie to you. Like, they're not gonna put an old Delta tag on a new shirt. So, again, it can be this white Delta tag from the mid 90s and be double stitch and still be old. Just throwing that out there. I know this video isn't about stitching, but I'm throwing it out there. Next up, probably one of the most famous tags, and probably, I would say it's most people's favorite tags. This and the white one. The white one will be in it later. But cool tee. Got a little Bart Simpson with the Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Simpson, Cowabunga dude with the pizza tee, only right. But you have it on that black Screen Stars tag. Ooh, is it holding nicely? Ooh, I think it was. It kind of wasn't. On the black Screen Stars tag, probably one of the most famous tags like in vintage. I would say like the black, well, I mean, people like the white one too, but Screen Stars in general, I'd say Screen Stars in general with Giant, Bay Club. People like Bay Club just because it means rap tees pretty much. But like Giant, Screen Stars, like I'd say like it's down to those two. Juanita, I know a lot of people like Juanita. But like people love those tags. Like they think that I've done like buyouts with people that don't really know about vintage, but they know it because they have a lot, but they don't know like the pricing or anything. And they'll see a Screen Stars tag and they'll automatically think it's worth a lot just because it's on a Screen Stars tag, but it'll be like a elementary school shirt. So single stitch, black Screen Stars tag. This black Screen Stars tag is going to be, for one, this one's 50-50. They're actually usually 50-50. There's like later 90s ones that are 100% cotton, but these black ones are predominantly 50-50 cotton poly blend. And it's gonna be from the late 80s. So the late 80s into the mid 90s, anywhere in there. You could probably see them from the later 90s too, like just depending on if like the people that printed the shirts like got older blanks than when they printed it. But predominantly you're gonna see late 80s into like mid 90s on this tag. You find this tag like fucking all the time. So this will probably be a tag that you see literally like, if you can go somewhere and you know vintage is there, you're gonna see this tag every time you go there. But like, let's say you see 20 vintage tees a week, like you're gonna see this tag pop up, like probably within those 20. So, it says Screen Stars Best. It's black, it's jet black, XL 50-50. The Rap Tees book, like bootleg this tag or like, yeah, bootleg the tag and like made it their like logo and cover. So yeah, that's a big tag to look out for. It's probably like one of the best tags. This is my favorite tag, personally. It's not even my favorite tag, it's just my favorite type of vintage shirt, just because the fit is always amazing. This shirt's just small, so I mean, it's just, I chose this one because the graphic's cool. Like, but you have a Ghost Rider Marvel tee on the Fruit of the Loom tag. Let me hold it a little bit better for you. I'm just trying to make sure I hold it up there long enough for you guys to like see it and shit. I don't know if it's focusing. It should be. But yeah, made in US. Oh fuck, I didn't even bring that up. Like I said with the bootlegs, at least it was only like a couple that I didn't say it on. With the bootlegs, you know how I said made in Panama, it'll be made in Dominican Republic, stuff like that, Bangladesh. These tees, like all these promo, like promotional items. So like you see how it's gonna be dated in 1990 by Marvel Entertainment Group Incorporated, all rights reserved, promo. Anytime you see copyrights, it's promo. Like it means that it has, just like it says all rights reserved, you can't claim the artwork in the shirt as yours because it's not. So these tags are gonna be promo tags. The black Screen Stars predominantly, I mean, that was a bootleg shirt that it was on, but like Screen Stars are huge. It was a huge blank company then, so they're gonna be made in USA, in the United States. That's gonna be people's like main thing they say to look out for. Look for tags that say made in USA, single stitch, Fruit of the Loom tag, and you're gonna see these bigger like singular tags. So think about all the tags I've shown you They're all singular tags. They're not like a tag here and then another tag coming out here, or they're not printed on to the back of the shirt. It's just one little like fatty tag, just big chillin'. Says made in USA. This one's single stitch. It can be double stitched. There are shirts with this exact tag that are double stitch. It's out there, I promise you, and they're still old. So, just like I told you, this one is dated 1990. So therefore, you know, this shirt released in 1990. The artwork is dated to 1990. I don't know if a Marvel, well, actually, yeah, it says dated on the artwork too, 1990. So yeah, this artwork is dated 1990. But the fact that it's on the artwork 1990 and the shirt 1990, I'm gonna say that the shirt was also printed in 1990, but sometimes you can get a little messed up with the artwork. And the artwork could say 1986, but the shirt's from the late 90s. And that just means that the artwork's copyrighted to 1986. Not that the shirt's from 1986. But this one, the shirt's copyrighted 1990, so therefore you know this tag goes to the 90s at least. But this tag goes from like the late 80s, like the very late 80s, like 88, 89, into the 90s, into the mid 90s. So very similar to the black Screen Stars tag, late 80s into the mid 90s. You could see anything from 88 to like 95 with this tag. Again, like I said with the black Screen Stars, this isn't definitive. Like, just because I'm saying this doesn't mean it can't be from 99. If the shirt says 99 and it's on this tag, it's not real. Like, duh. Like, it's not like that. That's just predominantly what you're gonna see. But a company could have got these blanks and then printed a shirt in 1999 that says like, I don't fucking know, like Spring Break 1999, and they're on this tag. Like, it's still from 1999. It's still real. It's all that. It just means they got older blanks. So predominantly late 80s, mid 90s, anywhere in there. And you're usually gonna see a lot of dope shit on this tag. You're gonna see a lot of promo items. I have another version of a Fruit of the Loom tag that's in there, and it's a Butthole Surfers tee, which is a band that's, everyone wants their shirts. Music's not that great, I'll tell you that. But yeah, so promo Marvel tee, Fruit of the Loom, I'll give you another look. Size medium, single stitch, made in USA, remember that. Next up, we have David Bowie. Bowie. What is this? 1987 Spider Glass Tour, or the Glass Spider Tour, is that right? Glass Spider Tour. David Bowie, great size, super clean. And this one is on a Hanes 50/50 tag. Let you peek at that one time. Single stitch, well, made in USA, keep that in mind. 50/50 cotton blend. Predominantly 50/50 cotton blends are gonna be an 80s thing. Like, it was huge in the 80s. They make very soft and like thin t-shirts. That's why that black Screen Stars tag was a lot thinner than like that Fruit of the Loom one, the shirt itself. That's why this one is a lot thinner. As you can see, it's the 50/50 cotton blend. So it's 50% cotton, 50% polyester. And whenever you see shirts that are like paper thin, like super worn out, paper thin, like you could like see like your nips poking out of that shit, it's because it's 50/50. And it's because all of the, pretty much how 50/50 shirts predominantly work is that since there's polyester and cotton, as you're wearing it and washing it and wearing it, washing it, wearing it, washing it, the cotton's gonna kind of like dissipate and disappear, go away through the washing machine and the dryer, and it'll leave more polyester. So the polyester will never go anywhere. And I don't know how that never means that, like, I don't know what's up with like the 100% cotton shirts that like something doesn't happen to them. Maybe it's because it's 100% of it and it makes it stronger. That's what I'd assume. But so as over time, all the cotton will disappear and you'll just see like lines. You can see it in here. You see like how there's just like lines, like look at the print. You see like the lines. That's the polyester that's still there. So like that's why they get super thin. It's because the cotton washes away, the polyester stays. It makes it paper thin and super soft and comfy because polyester is a softer material. Anyways, kind of just a side note. I'm just going to kind of blurt knowledge whenever I know it. But yeah, so you have the Hanes 50-50, 50% cotton, 50% polyester, made in USA, single stitch, size XL. And again, this one's dated. It's licensed merch, 1987. 1987. Therefore, you know the tag has to do with the 80s. And there are, like, that's for a later video again. Like I said, this is the basics. It's fucking hot in here, man. Again, for the basics. There are different variants of this tag that have very small differences. Like, same, they look fucking exactly the same. But, like, there'll be, like, 2 words that are different. And it means it's from a different era. But, just with this tag, which is all we're going off of right now, it's going to be mid to late 80s. Okay? So, it's not going to be 90s. Let's say, like, if you saw this exact shirt and the 1987 copyright wasn't there, you'd know it was 80s by the tag. Or, I mean, the subject matter, obviously, you could just look up the tour. But I'm just saying, if you found a blank of this shirt and you saw this tag, mid to late 80s. Hope you saw it. You can go back and pause it, do your thing. Single stitch, made in USA, all those fun things. Next up, another learning curve. So, great little Braveheart tee. Big print. Beautiful shirt. This shit's like fucking hella short. I don't know why. It wasn't cropped. I don't know if I can stretch it back, but it's like hella short, but it's size large. Anyways, single stitch. So your thing to look out for, single stitch, is there. But you got 2 tags here. So what I was telling you before, the whole singular tag, like single tag, single stitch, da-da-da-da-da. How there's a singular tag, there's not a singular tag on this one. It has 2 tags. You see how there's this top tag, then there's this bottom tag. 2 tags. This goes in with the whole difference of things. Just like I told you on the Nirvana shirt, how it can have a single tag and it had 2 stitches. It doesn't mean it's new. Just because there's 2 stitches or double stitch is what people are going to tell you. It doesn't mean it's new. It's just was made that way. Anyways, for this specific tag, just like you said, it's single stitch, therefore it's telling you it's old. Actually, I don't know. This one's licensed too, 1995. So this one's licensed 1995. You know the shirt's legit from 1995. Single stitch. But you have a double tag. It's a Fruit of the Loom heavy cotton, size large. Give you some time to look at it, some time to look, some time to pause, some time to see what you're doing. Sorry, I was just checking to see if it was like staying down. So, assembled in Jamaica of USA fabric. A lot of times these are actually made in USA. I thought I was going to say made in USA, in all honesty. But this specific Fruit of the Loom heavy cotton tee, it'll be on a double tag, but it is 90s. So this comes down to like knowing your shit pretty much. And I mean, now you know, like, because I'm telling you, like, that tag is from the 90s. If you ever see, even if it had double stitch, same tag, but double stitch, it's still 90s. So yeah, I don't really remember where I was taking that, but that's all you really need to know. Anyways, this tag, again, just like that last tag I told you, there are like multiple variants of this tag that look very similar, but they spawn different eras. So this one's dated 1995. So you know that this tag was around in 1995. It wasn't around in the 80s. It wasn't around in the early 90s. But it is mid 90s to late 90s. This specific tag. Single stitch. Double tag. Fruit of the Loom heavy cotton. Let me show you again. Mid 90s to late 90s. On to the next. I think I'm killing this shit. Let me know if I'm killing this shit. I think I'm doing pretty good. And again, because I was like talking like on part of that, and I feel like I could already hear people saying it. I don't mean like, fuck. I don't know if me saying this is now gonna make people think it, but fuck it. I'm not worried about it. A lot of people know how I am. It might sound like I'm saying stuff like it's this, like, not condescending, but like a little bit. Like, it's because to me, like, and to a lot of people that like do this a long time, it's like boom, 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 boom. Like, I could look at this tag for 2 seconds and know, like, oh, it's late 90s into the early 2000s, mid 90s into the early 2000s. Like, that tag's 80s, that tag's mid 90s, that tag's late 90s, that tag's early 2000s, that tag's brand new. Like, so it's kind of like me trying to explain it. Like, I'm having to like take the time to like really try to remember and say it in my head and like remember to actually say it. So I'm having to say it kind of slow and like, it's this. Like, so just don't think some weird shit. Just learn. Anyways, next up, you got a beautiful Johnny Knoxville tee. And this is another little mind boggler for you. So again, like, a lot of people are going to tell you, like, shirts from the 2000s cannot be single stitch. If it's single stitch, it's 90s or older. That's it. They're idiots. I'm telling you. This one is a perfect example. And that has to do with the tag. I'm just going to say that. Like, it doesn't have to do with what's on the shirt. It just has to do with the tag. All Sport is a great example. And there's, again, multiple variants of this tag. There's the satin version, which is this one. It says All Sport Events. Assembled in Mexico. Of USA components. 100% cotton. XL. There's your tag. Get a look at it. It's a nice little satin tag. It's kind of shiny. There's another tag that's like a weird cotton material. It's a lot thicker. That's like, sorry. That's the mid-90s one. Sorry. Again, great Jackass tee. Single stitch. Single stitch, but dated 2001, I believe. I believe it's 2001. It could be 2002 or something like that, but it's 2000 something. It's 200 something. Pretty sure it's 1. It could be 2. I know it's in there. It could be, I don't think it's 3. I'm pretty sure it's 2001. Anyways, again, it's 2000s. Why is it single stitch? 2000 shirts can't be single stitch. Yes, they can. It has to do with the tag. So, this All Sport tag, predominantly it is 90s. Like, most of the time, but All Sport did run into the 2000s, and they did still continue to make single stitch on their shirts in the 2000s. So, Liquid Blue did the same thing. Like, you can find Liquid Blue shirts from like 2005, 2006, single stitch. So that's when it comes down to like knowing your tags and like knowing what you're looking at. Again, this is licensed, it's gonna tell you, but imagine if that, like this whole back print, imagine this wasn't here, and it was just this. It looks good, it's single stitch, and it's on this tag. That's all you need. That's like, what else can you need? Like, what else do you need? If it was double stitching on this tag and it still said 2001, like, it'd still be good. So, All Sport satin tag, it goes from the late 90s into the early 2000s. There's another variant. I don't have it in this group, but I'm sure you'll see it in another tag video at some point. There's a cotton tag that looks different, but it says All Sport, same everything. That's a mid-90s one. But they're gonna all be single stitch. You can also find shirts with this tag that are double stitch. And that kind of goes with everything. Like, every tag, like, there can be shirts that are double stitch on that tag. Some, you won't see it, but others, you, like, it's very possible. Like, don't only go by one thing. Next up, you have a beautiful Sade Lovers Rock Tour 2001 double stitch. Here's the back. Great shirt. I haven't found one in a while. So, double stitch 2001 makes sense. It's perfect. It is on a Gildan Ultra Blend heavyweight, size XL. Oh wow, this is 50-50. I didn't know that. I guess I should have told by the feel of it, but here's your tag. Kind of harder to show the double tags. How am I doing? But again, some people like hate, like act like Gildan's like the newest thing in the world for some reason because the whole Kanye thing in like 2016 or whatever it was. It's Gildan. It's 2001. This is a bootleg, but 2001 dated. This is a parking lot bootleg. On the Gildan. There are Gildan tags from the 90s. There are Gildan tags from 2019. Like, this, it's just how it works. But that specific Gildan tag is going to go from the late 90s into the early 2000s. Predominantly the early 2000s, but you can see in the late 90s. And again, there are a lot of Gildan tags that look very similar to that one that are a little different. That could mean that it's late 90s or even earlier 2000s. I mean, even later into the 2000s. But that specific tee, I mean, that's that specific tag, you see it, is going to be late 90s into the early 2000s. This one's dated 2001, double stitch. Still a great shirt, even if it has double tag, double stitch. It's still 2001 Sade. It's still a great shirt. It's still worth something. So don't overthink it too much. Another one. You have a great little Rugrat shirt. XL. This one's not dated, so that helps us that it's not dated. So imagine you find this shirt in the thrift. You're looking at it. It is single stitch, which I mean is going to tell you right away you're straight. I mean, there are new shirts that are single stitch. That's what's making it hard for me. Is that like I'm in my head like, oh, it's single stitch, we're good, like type shit. But again, there are single stitch tees that are brand new, but like it's single stitch, great sign. It's Rugrats. You got that thick collar, great sign. Tag. You got 2 tags. Some people might tell you that's scary, or like you might think in your head that's scary. But made in USA, great sign. And this specific Hanes beefy tee, all right, I'm gonna give you a little trick right here. I actually don't have the other like one that looks exactly the same as this with me right now, but I'm gonna give you a little trick. So you see that tag, look at it, look at it, look at it. So you notice that the sizing is on this top tag. So like you can take this bottom tag out, the sizing is on the top tag. That's like a little trick because there is a tag that looks exactly like this, but the sizing is on the bottom tag. So when you see it on this top tag, it's 90s. It's gonna be mid 90s. Could be late 90s, like mid to late 90s. Well, I mean, could it? Nah, it's gonna be like mid to late 90s. I'm just gonna go with that. Single stitch, great sign again. Like I told you, made in USA, great sign. So mid to late 90s on this Hanes beefy tee tag because of the sizing on the top tag. Again, there's an exact like variant of this tag. It looks exactly the same except the sizing is on the bottom. That one is gonna predominantly be early 2000s. It could be like 99, 98. I found them. But most of the time, you're going to be looking at like 2000 through 2004, like somewhere in there. So that was a good little piece of advice. You should take that. You should remember that. You should write that down. It's a great tee. It's a great tee. I actually just found this. I had another tee with this tag that's also great, but I chose to go with this one because I just recently got it. You got Smashing Pumpkins. Siamese Dream, sorry. 1993, you see that. The date's on there. That helps you. Single stitch. And you got, this is a lot of people's favorite tag. So if you've never seen it, get familiar with it and always look out for it. Because most of the time, like, if you see this tag, like, it's a good shirt. It's gonna be a giant tag. This one, you see how it says by TJ's? So it says Giant by TJ's. Giant is a licensing company. So they make promo merch for bands, TV, movies, whatever. So they have their own tag because it's their own company. TJ's, if you didn't know this, is a t-shirt company that makes blanks. So you could find this Giant tag and instead of it saying TJ's, it'll say Toltecs or it'll say Anvil. That's just a little tidbit. Again, like I said on most of these other shirts, there are variants to every tag. So one day I'm gonna try to do a Giant variant tag video because that would actually be really fun to like try to find them all. There's quite a few. But this specific one, the TJ's one, I'm not sure. And this actually would be something good for you to like try to figure out, or like I'm sure you could Google it or like ask somebody that really knows like band tees and stuff. But I'm pretty sure the Giant by TJ's, which is this one, the Giant by Toltecs, and the Giant by Anvil are all in the same like era of like the whole Giant tag like dating. I'm pretty sure they're all in the same little like era. Like they were all, I said that like 3 times already. So yeah, they're all in the same era. I don't know what else I'm trying to say. But this is 1993. This exact shirt is 1993. This tag is gonna be like that early 90s into like the mid 90s era. Like you're gonna see Nirvana and Uteros on this tag, so that's 1992. You're gonna, the other shirt I have on this tag is a Kurt Cobain Memorial. So that one's 94, same tag. So there's 1992, 1993, 1994 that I just gave you examples of that I definitely know are on that tag. So it's gonna be early-ish 90s into the mid-ish 90s. At least. Single stitch, like I showed you. Dated 93. Oh, that one's single stitch on the bottom too. So yeah, the Giant by TJ's. There's a lot of Giant tags out there, but any Giant tag you see, like the singular tag, Giant tag, just grab it. It's most likely a band tee or a movie tee. It's gonna be solid. Always grab them. Next up, this is a good shirt. Ooh, the shirt after it's even better though. You got a Mario Kart N64 Kick Asphalt. Great shirt, great shirt, great shirt. On the Power Pro Juanita. Everyone kind of like says that name differently. I think it's Juanita. I actually don't know how other people say it. I've mostly heard people say Juanita, so I'm going with that. But Power Pro by Juanita. I have the silver Juanita tag in here also, which is another great tag to look out for. It looks completely different. It looks completely different, so it's a good one to add. But single stitch, Power Pro by Juanita. Let's see where it's made. Made in Mexico. Oh, it's like, it says fabric made in USA, sewn in Mexico. And then the rest of the shit's in Spanish, like the rest of the whatever's in Spanish. So yeah, it says large. But made in USA, printed in USA, sewn in Mexico, which is interesting. Like you kind of wonder how that works, but I'm not sure. But single stitch, you have that tag. Like you're gonna see, I keep saying predominantly, I don't know why. I feel like I've never said this word so much in my life. But the Power Pro by Juanita, for me at least, I find a lot of video game shirts on this tag. I find a lot of PS2 not PS2, PlayStation and N64 shirts on this specific tag. I'm saying specific a lot too. But yeah, I found like a Banjo and Kazooie or whatever it is on this tag. I found a lot of other shit on this tag. I'm just telling you, it's a lot of like video games and stuff on this tag for some reason. But this one is gonna be mid-90s. Could spawn into the late 90s, so I'm gonna say that just to be safe. Mid to late 90s. It's not early 90s, it's not early 2000s. Mid to late 90s. It's probably gonna be like 95, 96, 97, 98, in there. I actually don't know when Mario Kart came out. I think it's like 93 or 94. So that even tells you 93, 94, 95, 96, in there. Great tag. Great shirt. Oh, I love this shirt. Great shirt, look at that. This has always been one of my favorite graphics on a t-shirt, ever. So you got the Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin scream. One of the, probably the most famous scene in the movie. And it was ad-libbed. Dated 1990. So again, the dates help you. Single stitch. And you got this tiny little Hanes tag. And once you start learning tags, like you're gonna see, like once you start like getting comfortable like dating tags by how they look on your own, which is a thing, like because 90s tags, like they're gonna be a lot fatter, and then 80s tags will like most, I keep saying predominantly, I don't know why. 80s tags will be a lot smaller. So yeah, like this tag, like once you're like really into it and like you are kind of trying to click very fast, like it'll look 80s, but which, I mean, it technically is, but it spawns into the early 90s too. So it'll be late 80s into the early 90s. I actually see this tag on early 90s tees more often than 80s tees, but it's also one of those things that if it's not dated, like the shirt just feels and looks 80s. The tag looks 80s. So you're kind of just telling yourself it's 80s. But I see a lot of Janet Jackson tees on this tag, which is like the Rhythm Nation era, so 1990. This shirt's copyrighted 1990. So let me show you a close-up. I don't even think I showed you. I keep wanting to stare at the graphic too much. There you go. Get a nice look at it. Let's see what it says. Made in USA, great sign. This is 100% cotton, and it's actually pretty thin. So, I don't know. I know I was right about what I said about the whole 50-50 thing, but this is 100% cotton, and it definitely feels very like thin and soft, like as if it was 50-50. So maybe they used a different type of cotton. There's definitely like heavier cottons out there on t-shirts than others. So, I mean, I'm sure that that's like what comes into play. Sorry, I keep looking at it myself. But yeah, great Home Alone tee. Late 80s into the early 90s, mostly early 90s on this Hanes tag. Next up, we have another merchandising company tag. And the reason I'm showing this is because I feel like it's good, like, sorry. You're gonna see giant tags a lot more often than this tag, but I feel like it's good for me to show them because I have another merchandising company tag in here for music. So I feel like it's good to show them just in case you didn't know about them, so you know in the future. So this one is Polygram Merchandising. And this is a Wu-Tang Forever tee, 1997. Double stitch, ooh. Double stitch, still 90s, you're good. Single tag, I don't know why I'm saying the date, but 1997 is when this came out. Is it dated? It is dated. I can barely see it, but 1997. So, Polygram tag. Get yourself a look at it. Polygram tag says Polygram Merchandising, USA components made in Mexico. I'm actually trying to think. This tag's gonna be mostly like late 90s. I'm trying to think if it goes into like, cause again, there's another variant of this tag that looks different. It says pretty much the same shit, but the tag itself looks a little bit different. And I think that one's like the mid to early 90s one. But this specific tag is late 90s. You're gonna, like, I see a lot of Wallace and Gromit on Polygram. You see a lot of Wu-Tang on Polygram. You see Snoop Dogg on Polygram. You see a lot of Cypress Hill on Polygram. So you see a lot of like hip hop music. You see a lot of movies. It's just, again, it's a merchandising company just like I showed you with Giant. So they could merchandise or license and merchandise for a band. They could do it for a movie. They could do it for TV shows, whatever. So this is a Wu-Tang Forever 1997 double stitch. Okay, because you got that tag. Polygram tag. Look out for it. It's always good. You'll see a lot of random bands on there too, but I showed you a good one at least. So next up, I just showed you the Power Pro version of this. You have the Juanita Power Tee. This is a lot of people's favorite tags. This is a lot of people's favorite. I feel like people say like it's their favorite tag because they like the fit of the shirt. That's why the Fruit of the Loom, the late 80s into the early 90s, or late 80s into the mid 90s one, that one I showed you with the Marvel tee, like that's my favorite tag because the shirts fit so good. This is a lot of people's favorite. I can agree with it. I've actually never had a shirt that I've worn with this tag, but I can see why people love it. Juanita Power Tee, single stitch. I'm really hoping I'm getting these tags in the camera. Like, I'm actually gonna be fucking mad at myself if I don't. But a great shirt. Art Can't Hurt You. It is by, what's his name? Fred Bob, something like that. Fred Babb. Dated 1991, copyrighted and dated 1991. So again, dates help you. Single stitch already tells you a lot. Singular tag already tells you a lot. Made in USA tells you a lot. But 1991, so you know exactly when it came from. This tag is gonna be, again, late 80s into the mid 90s. I wonder if it does, like, I'm pretty sure it goes into the mid 90s. So yeah, that silver Juanita tag is going to be late 80s, because I've definitely found shirts from like 1988 on these tags, into the mid 90s, early to mid 90s. That's a lot of people's favorite tags. Now I'll let you guys judge that. Oh, another licensing company I actually didn't even think I had, or didn't remember I had brought up. You got a Pink Floyd, The Wall. I know this one's dated. 1999, so right on that cusp. You have Winterland. What does this one say? Made in Mexico from U.S. cotton. You see a lot of those late 90s and early 2000s shirts that say that, like made in Jamaica with U.S. components, made in Mexico with U.S. cotton, printed in USA, sewn in Mexico. Like, that's going to be a late 90s into the early 2000s thing. So I'll show you the tag again, because I didn't show you for very long because I wanted to read it. You have Winterland. Just hoping I get that shit. Another licensing company. Yeah, it's not only music. Music and movies, mostly. You'll see, like, I mean, all types of music. It's mostly music. A lot of these licensing companies, like, same with Giant, same with, what was the last one I just showed you? Polygram. It's going to be mostly music tees, but you will see movie tees in there. Like on Winterland, a movie tee that you will see is like Pulp Fiction. You'll see a Pulp Fiction movie poster tee, like, and it'll be on a Winterland tag. A different Winterland tag than this one, but it will be on a Winterland licensing merchandise. You'll see a lot of Marilyn Manson's on this tag specifically, actually. But 1999, double stitch. I doubt you can even see the stitches when I do that, but I mean, I'm kind of just hoping. 1999 dated, so I mean, you know, late 90s. This tag, singular tag, it looks super 90s. It's all fat and bulky, but this goes from the late 90s into the early 2000s, the very early 2000s, like 2001, 2000, 2002, maybe not even 2002, maybe just 2001 and 2000. So yeah, again, multiple variants of this tag spawning from the 70s into the 2000s. Sorry. Next up. This one will get you. This one will get you a little bit. You have a Metallica, Ride the Lightning. And this is a good shirt. I'm happy I brought this shirt out, because this is a shirt that will throw off a lot of fucking people. Like, especially this shirt specifically. Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Super big in 2016, 2017. Everyone and their dads wanted it. Date, slap my tummy, vicious. Dated 1994. Dated on the back, 1994. On the single tag, AAA, 2XL. Where is this one made? Fabric made in USA, assembled in Mexico. Remember what I told you? What does that mean when you see that? Oh, and also to add to it, you got double stitch. So when you see that, what I told you based on the other tags, and you see a fabric made in USA, assembled in Mexico, means late 90s into the early 2000s. I would go with this tag specific. I don't know. Every time I say specifically, I'm just going to like say some shit in my head. If I saw this tag, I would definitely say late 90s, personally. But it could go into the early 2000s, for sure. But it's dated 94, so what's up with that? A lot of these Ride the Lightnings are going to be dated 94. A lot of them will be on Giant tags. Those ones are 94. But some of them also aren't. It just depends on which Giant tag it is. And like with this tag, like I said, like it's assembled in USA or whatever, and then in Mexico. Just like all those other shirts taught you, late 90s. So this shirt's probably from like 97, 98, 99. It was just probably this version of the artwork was made in 94 when they reissued the shirt. Because I mean, the original ones are from the 80s. So I'm sure that they redid the artwork when they did it with Giant. Because it'll say, I actually am pretty sure this one says it. Yeah. So 1994. I'm just going to read the copyright because I'm definitely not going to be able to get it like to where you can see it. It says 1994 copyright, Metallica under license to Giant. So like I told you with the whole Marvel thing, The artwork is licensed and copyrighted to 1994. That doesn't mean the shirt's from 1994. Just like you'll see a lot of like Snoopy and Garfield that's like copyrighted 1956 and the shirt's 80s or 70s or like whatever. Just because it says 1994 doesn't mean it's from 1994. That's when you have to use the other clues, such as the stitching, such as the tag, to tell you, like, this one's from the late 90s. There are ones from like 2008 that say 94, and you see people trying to sell them for like $200, where they rip the tag out and they tell you it's from 94, and they try to sell it to you for $200-300, and the collar looks fucking completely off. So, like I said, there's a lot of things that go into it. And I feel like this was a good shirt to show, like, so you could see that, like, just, I don't know, lead by example type shit. So, late 90s into early 2000s on this AAA single tag. Mostly late 90s. Another licensing company. Can you guess the shirt? Some of you can. You got a Pink Floyd. What is this one dated? It's like, what, 94? 94, got it. Under license to Brockham. That's the tag you're on. Brockham Worldwide. Man. Brockham Worldwide. Give you a little bit of time to see it. I'm trying not to cover it too much with my fingers. Hopefully you saw it. Brockham Worldwide, Made in USA, XL. Single stitch. Dated 94, so you know it's 94. Strictly, like, you see that Made in USA, you see that single stitch, dated 94. It's by Brockham. Brockham doesn't, like, if it's on a Brockham tee, it's most likely going to be of the year it's copyrighted on. And I'm pretty sure all Brockham tees are copyrighted, like, on the actual shirt. I could be wrong on that. Definitely don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So, 1994. This Brockham tee is going to be... So, again, multiple variants of this Brockham tee. So there's another tag that's like a silver tag, like a fat silver tag. That's going to be mid-80s into the early 90s. This one is going to be mid-90s. I want to say into, like, it's just mid-90s. Like, maybe the late 90s, but I don't think you're going to see like 97, 98, 99 with this tag. That I could be wrong on though. So I'm going to say it's mid-90s, straight up, like 93 to 96 in there somewhere on this Brockham tee, on this Brockham tag. There's a silver one that I'll probably get to. It's another tag video. I'm trying to show the most basic, like, tags that you have the most chance of seeing out while you're thrifting. Next up, we're getting to we have a few left. I don't know how long this is. I feel like I'm talking a lot. Great Ren and Stimpy tee, all over print, pretty much. That green and that purple colors. Dated 1992, single stitch. So again, like, I'm trying to, like, do this for, like, people that don't, like, really know, and, like, they're really, like, beginning, like you flip Supreme and shit still. Like, you're really, like, just starting to, like, want to get into vintage. This is for you. Like, I know a lot of people are already gonna know all this. Those copyright dates help you a lot. And a lot of shirts, just like a lot of these shirts have been, are copyrighted, especially when they have to do with, like, music, TV, movies, anything of that nature, like anything that can be copyrighted, really. So, 1992, single stitch, everything you need to know. Even if this tag was gone, like, that's all you need to see is that single stitch in that 1992, and you'd be straight. And just, like, again, like, the print, how big it is, the colors, how it's printed. Look at that collar, fatty. That's all you need. Size XL. So, made in USA, 100% cotton. Again, you see made in USA, perfect sign. Anvil tag. Great Anvil tag. It's a single tag. You'll see a lot of Anvil tags. Well, you'll see another Anvil tag that's like the same red color, but it's a double tag. That'll be, some people say late 90s, but I say it's just early 2000s. Some people try to make the argument of late 90s because of a Nirvana tee that's dated 97, but just like I showed you with, just like I showed you with the with the Ride the Lightning. Like, just because it's dated that doesn't mean it's from them. So, single stitch. Anvil single tag, made in USA, dated 1992. You know it's in that early 90s era. So, this tag, early 90s into the mid 90s. Again, there are different variants of this tag that you can look out for. There's one that has like this line that's red that you saw. There's one that's blue, and that's like super early 90s into like the late 80s. And then there's a black one that's like mid 80s to the late 80s. And then they started double tagging in the late 90s into the early 2000s. So, early 90s to mid 90s. Anvil tag. Could even be late-ish 90s, like 97, like in there. Now you have a Hole tee. If you don't know what Hole is, it's a band. Courtney Love, the girl that killed Kurt Cobain. Some people say Kurt Cobain killed himself. Courtney Love killed him. That's up to you. Some people believe that. Some people believe he killed himself. It's all out of the beholder. So you got a Hanes tag. Showing it off. So this is fabric made in USA, assembled in Mexico. You know what that means. Single stitch. I actually don't know when this album came out, because this like specific print is to like a certain album, and I don't know when it came. I honestly don't know when it came out. But you have, what the fuck? Backstage Pass, that's it. I don't know why I was thinking the word merchandising so much. Backstage Pass hit on it, which proves it's like legit. Like, Backstage Pass is, pretty sure it's from Canada, I want to say. It's mostly Canadian. But yeah, like if you see like that little Backstage Pass hit, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get it to where you can see it, but it's a little tiny hit. I'm sure you can look up pictures and you can find it. That just shows it's legit. Like, think of that as like a stamp of like authenticity. But yeah, mid to late 90s on this certain tag. I don't want to say specific anymore. On this certain tag, again, like I told you on those other tags, it was all late 90s. This tag, it's going to be like later mid 90s, so like 96, maybe 95, into like 97, 98, like in there. Predominantly into like the later-ish mid 90s, which is kind of hard to explain, but again, that's when it comes down to like you finding so many shirts with this tag that you kind of just like learn over time, seeing it so often. That's what makes like this video so hard to like explain. I feel like I'm trying to do the best job I can. Next up, a lot of people's favorite tag. It's gonna be kind of hard to show you because, and this tag is funny, like how the shirts fit, but you have a great 80s Clockwork Orange tee. Super good one. Single stitch. Nice and thin, nice and soft. And you have the white Screen Stars tag. I'm gonna try to show it to you because these tags, once you wash them, like they like to do like this shit to you. Like they like to get all folded and like crunched up. They fall off really easily. Like I might even tear it off just trying to do this. White Screen Stars tag. Mostly gonna be 50-50. Collie Pond blend, this one is. Size XL, made in USA, everything you wanna see. Single stitch, everything you wanna see. So this white one is gonna be mid 80s to the early 90s. A lot of people will say it's only 80s, but it definitely goes into the early 90s. At least from my experience, I found a lot of shirts with this tag that were from the early 90s. So, late 80s to the early 90s. Again, there's more variants to this tag. There's ones that you see how it was red on like the sides of where it says Screen Stars. There's ones that are blue and they're made in Ireland. I'm pretty sure blue is made in Ireland. No, green's made in Ireland. There's one with green that's made in Ireland. There's one with blue that's made somewhere. That one might be USA too. There's like all orange and like all blue ones. Like Screen Stars has really cool tags. So if you like just like looking at all these tags, I would research like all the different Screen Stars tags. See, it's even hard just to grab this shit. I would research all like the different Screen Stars tags because they made like really cool ones. Like especially in like the early 80s. White Screen Stars tag, another Oh, I'll give you another little fun fact about this tag. This like specific tag for some reason. So this is an XL, tagged in XL. This shit fits like a, you'd be trying at a large, like trying at a large. So it fits like a medium to maybe a large. Like if you're skinny large, and it's tagged in XL. Most of these tees, like from the 90s especially, like you're gonna see tagged XL, fits XL, tagged 2XL, fits 2XL. Like it might be shrunk a little bit, but you can stretch it out, you're straight. But like these Screen Stars tags, these white ones, like, bro, when you wash and dry them, they shrink like crazy. So like it'll start out in an XL and you'll find it and it'll be like a small sometimes. Like they'll be teeny tiny, like just because of like, I don't know what it is about this particular tag, but like they just shrink like crazy. So if you ever find them like dead stock and it fits you perfectly, I would recommend hang drying it and hand washing it because it will shrink on you like crazy. So that's why this one is tagged XL, fits like a medium, maybe a large. It could be, yeah, like a taller large, like a skinnier large, I should say, or a taller medium. But yeah, they shrink like crazy, so be careful with that. Next up, ooh, that Dave smells good. Another Fruit of the Loom tag. Remember that last one I told you, like the fourth shirt I showed you? Sorry. Showing you another Fruit of the Loom tag. Double tag too, which is interesting. I just want to see if this is dated real quick. I want to say it says 92. Single stitch, Butthole Surfers, 1992. I want to say, it could say 93. 19. I really want to say it says 92, but I could be wrong. I don't know much about Butthole Surfers in all honesty, so I couldn't really tell you. I just got out of the shower before I did this. It might not have been the smartest idea. Because my hair's still like wet. Dated 1992. There's your back hit. So onto the tag. This is a blue double tagged Fruit of the Loom tee. This tag actually, like, it pops up, but it doesn't pop up as much as you think. I just thought I'd throw it in just to show you guys like a little bit of a rarer looking tag. But again, like it's double tagged with a really pretty like blue color. Made in USA. So it's not like made in USA components shit. Straight up made in USA. 100% cotton. I don't know why I'm staring at it so much. Single stitch, dated, everything you need to know. This tag is gonna be, I mean, this says 92, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, that's gonna tell you early-ish 90s. I was gonna say it's mid-90s, but it could be early 90s into the mid-90s. Again, like I said, this tag doesn't pop up like all the time. So this tag's a little bit harder to judge, but like I said about the other Fruit of the Loom tag, you're not gonna see, you'll see a lot of bootlegs on it, but like you'll see a lot of licensed and merchandise shirts on those Fruit of the Loom tags. And Fruit of the Loom tag, no exception. Licensed, dated, tells you what you need to know. Great shirt, great shirt. Comedy Central hit on the back. Dave Chappelle, Blackzilla. Comedy Central hit, very bootleggy style. And everyone knows, what year did that episode come out? It was like I think it was the second season. It might have been the first season. It was like 02, 03 in there. So this is a Delta Pro weight tag. And actually like 2 more shirts after this, I'll show you the late 90s version of pretty much this front tag. So it's double tag, just like you've seen before. Knit in USA, assembled in Honduras. So, just like you know from the other ones, later night, like when it's knit in USA, made in Mexico type shit, it's later 90s into the early 2000s. This one's, you know, when this episode came out, you can easily find out. I'm pretty sure it's 02, 03. It's either one of those two. That tells you, shirts from 02, 03. Because it's not like, yeah. Even though it is a bootleg, but still, like, this shirt had to have came out, and then they printed this because it's on the shirt. So 02, 03-ish, early 2000s shirt. There's your tag. It's cut, so It's kind of hard to show you. But it says Delta Pro weight. And then it says like Knit USA XL 100% cotton. Early 2000s tag. Early 2000s double tag. Double stitch. You're not going to find them single stitch. You're going to have them with 2 tags. Early 2000s. Don't worry about that. Next up. All right, how many tees we got? All right, you're on your last 2. Second to last tee, I'm going to show you. Great tag. You got the, well, I guess I'm going to show you everything else first. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream era, bootleg parking lot tee, back hit, great fucking shirt. Single stitch on the Murina tag, another great tag. XL, made in USA, 100% cotton. I really hope you guys can see that shit. So, sorry, this Murina tee, it's gonna be mid-90s into the late 90s, and you're gonna see a lot of official merchandising and a lot of bootlegs on it. It's kind of gonna go either way. My really good Dennis Rodman tee I had at one point was on this tag. I mean, this shirt's on this tag. I have other shirts on this tag. So it's gonna be this is Siamese Dream era. So just like you saw an official Siamese Dream shirt earlier, that was 1993. Same tag, not same tag, but same era, because this picture is from the Siamese Dream tour. So it's gonna give you 1993, which is mid-ish 90s. It's kind of like right on the cusp of early to mid-90s. So it's gonna go from like the mid-90s into the late 90s on that tag. Predominantly the mid-90s. Last but not least, nice little anime tee. You got Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I don't know anything about anime, in all honesty. It's a cool shirt though. It's worth a good amount. I've had them before. But double stitch. So imagine this didn't have a tag. You see that double stitch. You're feeling a little iffy. That's just when you gotta know like what the subject matter is on the shirt. You can look up when this came out. You see that fat collar, 90s all day. But you can't see this tag. So remember, assembled in Honduras of US components. What does that tell you? Predominantly late 90s into the early 2000s. You got a single tag. It looks very similar to that double tag. The first tag on that double tag of the Dave Chappelle tee I showed you. It's that Delta, 100% cotton, pre-shrunk, size XL. Assembled in Honduras of US components. So that's gonna tell you late 90s into the early 2000s. This tag is late 90s. You could find shit from like 01, 2000 on it, but it's mostly gonna be late 90s. So